Oh, Lautaro, dooby dooby doo, dooby dooby doo, dooby dooby doo.
Hello, do.
Good to have you, and I think you are drinking your mate, right?
This is my
Just let's start. And
source of power.
I know that mate is your main tea drink in Argentina. How do you feel about mate in general?
In general,
Is it?
I love it. There's something very special about mate that I think that sometimes I found places that they have coffee and mate and they compare both of them because both of them give you like a boost. But I feel like mate has this like community thing that is very interesting and appealing and endearing, and I like it's like you like rarely drink mate by yourself. You always have like you're in a group. There's one guy pouring the mate, passing it over, and yeah. So this goes for you. It's super hot.
Thank you.
Watch out.
Can you the snare? Lautaro. It's actually I haven't done a Doobie Doobie Doo interview for a while, so it's a new year. So it's great to have you here. And you know what? The interview should be in 4 parts, if you don't mind. The first part is Lao. I call it past. We talk more about you as a person, about your country, whatever is related to you. Part 2 is about Lao present, now. So New York, being a drummer in New York. And then part 3 is about tomorrow. Maybe you can tell me and all Doobie Doobie Doo fans what you like to do in the near future, what you are afraid of, whatever. So speaking of the future. And the last part is the most exciting thing is, of course, music. So we will hear a little of your drumming in that part. Good. So first of all, I always like to talk about the names of musicians. And Lautaro Burgos, right?
Yeah.
It's Lautaro, Lautaro.
Yeah.
Is it pronounced properly?
Lautaro.
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 And Burgos.
Burgos. Yeah.
Burgos.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you like your name? Do you know where your name is coming from?
I really like it.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I really like it. Yeah. My name, the first name is an indigenous name. It's from this, like mainly this Araucanos, this tribe from the south of Chile, and a little bit of Argentina, but mostly Chile. And yeah, he was a leader of the tribe. He has like a pretty interesting story. He was kidnapped, and
he fought for independence.
Yeah, he fought for independence.
He was like
he was like a big name at that time. He got killed by Spanish, of course, and so it's a weird mix because Burgos is a very Spanish last name, and Lautaro is actually the guy that fought against Spanish invasion.
Okay.
So. My father is a geologist, and he's from the south of Argentina, and he studied a lot. He was super into indigenous tribes, and so yeah, like my whole family, all my siblings, their names are like after Mapuches. That is another like tribe in the south of Argentina. Like we are all named after indigenous. So I guess I like the way it sounds.
So then you're from the south of Argentina? What city?
No, I'm actually from the north of Argentina. My father was escaping from the dictatorship. He went from...
What dictatorship?
Videla. During the 70s. Yeah, Videla was in the power, and... He was no longer in the south in Santa Cruz, where he's from. He was studying in like close to Buenos Aires, capital city, and it was like a crazy time in Argentina. A lot of people were disappearing, and so he was like always like a revolutionary, and he was part of like some publications that were trying to organize somehow the revolution between the students, or at least like bring some information to them so they could be aware of what was going on at that time, and friends of his started disappearing around him, and he decided to just like fly away. He went like up north to this town, Chaco.
Were you born at that time?
Yeah, I was born there. Yeah, and yeah, it was pretty much escaping, trying to be like out of the map, and yeah, I was born in there, and I feel like
So where were you born then exactly?
in Chaco.
Chaco.
Yeah, Chaco is the province, Resistencia is the city. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, part of a generation. I'm from this generation, like, it's pretty non-political because our parents were trying to, like, protect us, kind of thing. You know, they were
Yeah.
like, it's like this, it's very particular generation because we were like, we grew up not talking about politics because it was like really dangerous to talk about politics. So, like,
I know this feeling.
yeah.
I know that.
So I kind of got into that after some time. Like I started like really digging into Argentine history, and after some time, it wasn't like in the normal like talking and on the table, let's say.
So let's talk then about, or tell me more about Argentina. I mean, especially because you live now in New York, and we talk about it later, is how do you feel about your country? Are you proud of being an Argentinian? Or number one, yeah, it's a stupid question, but it makes sense somehow because in America you always try to talk about your roots, the Irish roots to Italian roots, and so so I think if you don't mind, my question makes sense. Even I think before starting this interview, I make my little research about your country, but it seems like even Argentina as a country is so different from the other Latin American countries. Can you confirm that, or?
I don't know. I feel like each one of them have like something that is particular about them. And
you mean all the countries?
All the countries in South America mainly, and yeah, there were like these big settlements. There were one in Lima in Peru and one in Buenos Aires. That these like two big Spanish settlements. So I would say like all the big trade between Spain and South America was like on those like two big ports, Buenos Aires and Lima. So from the very get-go, also England was involved in the trading. We had like English invasions and stuff. And so from back then already, Buenos Aires was like an important like place, I would say. And it was a city that resembled, like, and still resembles, kind of, it's like, it looks like a European city.
Well, that's the point. That
they brought,
heading to, because, excuse me to interrupt you, with other countries I have this feeling, this African influence and also Indians, but Argentina is basically really based on European roots, like even not only Spanish, but when you go through the history from architecture to literature, so French is a big influence, Italian as well.
Yeah.
So therefore I thought, even let's say the skin color brown, black is not that much.
Yeah, no
They're
black
more
at all.
whites, right?
There's no black at all.
So,
yeah.
So there's
somehow there was we got some slaves from Africa. They weren't that many, but around the like beginning of the 1800s, they didn't spread. That's the thing. They didn't spread like out, and since somehow there was like an epidemic, and then they were killed, and then they were just like pushed to Uruguay. You can find tons of like black people in Uruguay, and so. Yeah, the way that affected, but the curious thing is that tango, that is like something so important
Yes.
in Buenos Aires, especially. I wouldn't say Argentina because tango belongs to Buenos Aires, and it's a representation of the porteño culture, that is the culture of Buenos Aires. Has this strong influence from candombe, all these rhythms brought by Africans, mixed with all the Italians and like all this like polkas and stuff that were played with accordions
Right.
in brothels. So that kind of mix was
Yes.
made this like singular thing that is tango. And I mean, you can still see how black like Africans influenced our culture in many ways. I feel it's not, maybe if you walk around you're not gonna see that, but it's deep inside there is. Like all the folk music in Argentina is all 3/4 and 6/8, and that comes straight from Africa.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah.
So okay. So but don't you feel? So are you? How do you feel as an Argentinian? Are you proud of your country?
That's a.
Does it make sense to ask you this question? Because
I mean, it might make sense. I really struggle with the word pride, and I just like don't know what it means exactly, and I don't want to be.
like when you're here,
Pride.
do you miss your? Do you?
Yeah, I do. I do miss Argentina, and I really like value Argentina, and it's something that I relate to. Like, it's like I always come back to that. I always refer myself to that, and it's nice in my personal case, being like from a little town. That I quite never felt like very comfortable living in. I moved to Buenos Aires, and that gave me perspective of
What age?
20 something.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I was already like, my mind was kind of like, I thought at that time that I had like all my thoughts in order, but then I moved to Buenos Aires and everything like got like all
Mm-hmm.
mixed, and I really understood the perspective from the big city.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's always this like constant struggle between the capitals and the rest of the countries, and Argentina is no exception to that.
Good.
And
Well, the other thing then now make is football. Argentinian
Argentina
football.
Yeah, that's
Do you
amazing.
like football?
Yeah, I love football. Yeah,
Did you play?
Yeah, I
at
play-
school, at
Yeah.
kindergarten.
yeah, always. Always.
What was your position?
I started playing. I was like pretty skillful, so I played like Maradona's position. You know that like.
Midfield.
Yeah, midfield, but a
Yeah.
little forward, and I don't know how do you call that, but then I was playing in a club, and
Oh.
they promoted me to like a higher
Yes.
league or
Yes.
whatever, and they were faster than me, they were older than me, and so I got like a little shy and went back to the defense, and then I just like ended up not doing it anymore in a club, but then like I still play, and I love playing soccer.
So
Yeah.
now this year in Brazil is the World
Yeah,
Championship.
I would love to go.
So how do you feel about Argentina's team and the chances? And thank you.
I don't know. We always seem to have some chances. I think we lack like teamwork probably. We have some like good figures. Like Messi is amazing. He's a wizard. He just like, it's insane. I saw him. I played at here in New Jersey. In the game Brazil Argentina, where Argentina won 4-3, and Messi scored 2 goals that day, and it was insane. I had him playing like 2 meters away from me, and yeah, his skills are insane.
So what do you think What do you hope for? Do you think they will be in the final?
Argentina?
Yeah. Do you know in what